this is Miss Andrea with not another homeschool vlog. The holidays are over. Um, they started off okay and they went weird. And then I slept for weeks because I was over it. But here we are. And my homeschool program starts back up this week. We had a class yesterday and we have a class tomorrow and we have auditions on Friday. So I'm really excited to get back into the swing of things. The classes I'm taking, my master's program, by the skin of my teeth, I got a 4.0 second semester of my program. And unlike other schools, a 4.0 was a 90 or above in other schools. In my school, a 4.0 was a 93 or above. And yeah, I just barely got it because I got a 92.58 and it ended up rounding up in one of the classes. The other one I got a 4.0. So, what's going on? What's going on is, it's been an interesting 2 days. But the church that hosts my homeschool program is, in all fairness to them, not doing well financially. COVID has changed the way people do church. COVID has changed the way people pay churches. Okay, so there's that. But that brings me to today's topic. Classroom rules. Okay, here are 36 classroom rules for student success, and I'm going to talk about how they refer to homeschoolers. Number 1, ask questions. I want my students to ask questions all of the time. Anytime they think of the question, they can even send me a text through our online text system and ask me a question, and I'll even answer those within 24 hours, especially since we only have classes 2 days a week, 3 coming up since we'll be starting theater rehearsal. They might have a question when I'm not there, and they're free to ask it, and I can answer it. Respect and listen to your classmates. Very important to not underestimate each other, to listen to each other's input, to grow from each other, and to show each other respect. Respect and listen to the teacher goes without saying. Respect is very important. Raise your hand to speak. It's helpful. It's helpful for a child to raise their hand when they want to speak. Interestingly enough, we're getting close to Science Bowl time, and due to COVID, Science Bowl needs to be online, and so I'm currently teaching them to raise their hands like this so that the online proctor sees their hand raised. And last year after Science Bowl, because we were doing Zoom classes full time, a lot of kids kept doing this for the rest of the year. So I'm not saying you have to raise your hand like that, but it sure does help me see that you want my attention. I guess for me, it's not that important though. I mean, raise your hand to get acknowledged. It's a way of being respectful to each other, because sometimes a child is speaking and someone wants to butt in and they interrupt that person, and I'll do this. And that means hold your thought. Am I doing that where you can see it? Like you're holding on to your thought. So I'll do this at a child. And that means hold on to your thought. And so that way they're not like waving their hand. They just, have their hand here. And that helps me remember, because they'll just be flapping it. And then I'm having trouble listening to the other child because they're over there flapping. So like raising your hand is helpful. But if something pops in your head, I'm not mad if you say it. It's about learning. Be prepared for class. It would make me happy if students were more prepared for class. Be quiet when the teacher is talking. Be attentive when the teacher is talking. Silence is not that important. Don't be disruptive. The same thing when classmates are talking. I don't have a problem with kids giving their input, especially if something comes up in conversation and something you say makes them think something. Um, you don't have to be quiet, but you have to be attentive, and you can't make it a habit of disrupting and interrupting people. Whatever you say needs to be relevant to what we're talking about, at the very least. Share new ideas, absolutely. Keep your hands to yourself, absolutely. I've been known to yell, "Do not touch each other," when they were probably doing more than touching each other. But they get the idea. Um, Respect each other's property. Yeah, yeah. If I see someone take something of someone's and toss to someone else, I'm all over it. I do not like that. Keep your workspace tidy. Clean up when you're done. Clean up when you're done. Doesn't have to be tidy the whole time. Be kind. We have a statement of kindness, so that goes without saying. Always do your best. I am challenging them this second half of the semester to, because I assign an essay every week, and this semester I want them to, they get extra points if the essay they write is better than previous essays they've written. So I've given them a rubric because I want them to clearly understand what I expect of them. And in doing so, I want them to see that you get those extra couple of points if you've won up to yourself. So yeah, always do your best. Walk, don't run in hallways. Yeah, especially since it's not our space. And especially because you get hurt, when you're moving too fast. And young people tend to not have full awareness of their bodies, so it helps to walk. Be a good friend, yes. Be on time, very helpful. Share with others, within reason. Um, and I think this is new in the parenting world, is parents have realized that forcing kids to share takes away a child's personal autonomy. So, share with others in reason. Don't taunt children with your belongings. If you're gonna bring in something and like make other children miserable with it, then don't even bring it. But you can opt to be using a stress ball, because we've had this argument. We've had kids with stress balls, and someone else would demand it, and the kid looks upset. The kid who has it looks upset, and I'm like, no, that's his. You can bring in your own stress ball, or here's mine. You can use that. But no, I don't think sharing is something that needs to be demanded. Use equipment properly. Use things for what they're meant for. Writing pens are not darts. Um, keep the classroom tidy. At the end of every day, we clean. Listen to all teachers. Yeah. Obey all school rules. Well, goodness gracious, do we have enough rules yet? Finish your homework on time. Yeah. I mean, you only turn in homework once a week. I expect it. Be respectful of classmates who are working. Yeah, don't be a distraction to someone else. Just because you're done, just because you're bored, just because you're otherwise distracted, just because you're going on, doesn't mean that the whole class needs to be participating in that. So be respectful of students who are trying to use their brain. Have a good attitude. You know what? Sometimes kids are going to have bad days. And you have to give kids permission to be unhappy when they're unhappy. And I find that once you give them permission to be unhappy when they're unhappy, now you have opportunities to speak to them when they're unhappy because you see it and you get to improve their attitude yourself. Use positive language. Like, okay, don't call yourself stupid, things like that. Okay. Line up neatly and quietly. Nobody cares. Like, I don't care. Stay in your seat. Also, don't care about that. Um, I've taught full classes with children standing and rocking from foot to foot. Because I've had classes where the chairs hurt their back. I've had children sit on the floor. The only time I correct a child for sitting on the floor is when they flip over and they're laying face down and I'm looking at their butt. And I'm like, nope, I don't want to see that. Please face me. I just want to see your face. I don't care how you are sitting, how you're reclining. I will say something if you're propped up on your elbows because that does stress your back. I don't want them laying on their stomach, leaning on their elbows because that'll cause long-term damage to your back. So I'll say, that's not good for your back. Do you have something you can lean on if you're going to prop yourself that way? Listen with your ears and your eyes. I guess that means to look at the teacher who's talking. It helps when I notice that people aren't engaged. I will do or say something to get their full attention. But sometimes kids hear better when they're drawing. So no, I'm not strict on that. Contribute to discussions, absolutely. Be respectful of others' ideas and support them. Follow the teacher's directions the first time they are given, or ask me to re-explain it. Cooperate with your classmates. Be creative. Be honest. Use technology appropriately. Yeah. Be proud of your work. Those are cute. I like this quote. I don't know who Amy Fast is. Classroom rules. Have a vision. Be a learner, not a finisher. Lean into struggle. Feed your passion. Own your education. Kids don't wear shoes, and that's a problem. And it's setting a bad example for the other students. Who cares? But like, why are you making a big deal that my students don't have their shoes on? How is that bothering you? Also, they had a problem with students sitting on sofas. You don't get to sit on sofas in school. I'm sorry, the room has cafe tables with very uncomfortable cafe chairs and two sectionals. And the two sectionals form a giant pit, and it's just very comfortable to teach from. So, yeah, no, that's unfair. That's unfair to make kids sit at uncomfortable cafe tables facing each other. They're small cafe tables, so now no one's got 6 feet of space around them or anything. Like there's no way to spread out, and there's barely enough room at those cafe tables for everyone. So that's super unfair. Yeah, and he just felt like that we weren't doing school properly. There should be desks facing forward and we should be standing and teaching. And the fact that we sit with a child on either side and children wrapped around us was offensive to him. The fact that our children take off their shoes was offensive to him. The fact that our children lie down was offensive to him. Yet here's the deal. As I said, I'm taking my master's course in education, and international baccalaureate is what I'm training to administer into international baccalaureate education, and they're moving away from traditional classrooms big time. They're advocating for casual furniture. They're advocating for classroom arrangements that aren't factory-like, children sitting in rows staring at a desk. International education is advocating for gentle form of education, and that's what we do. And I feel bad for students who have to deal with people who are that rigid. So, what do you guys think about that? What do you think are some classroom rules that children have to abide by? And what do you think are some classroom rules that children should not have to abide by? Okay? So let me know. Until next time.